Sometimes as a halfback too, it's harder to play reserve grade than it is first grade because you haven't got the quality players around. Yeah. Anyway, I wish him well and it'll look good in red and blue.
Hello and welcome to Immortal Behaviour for another week. Ahead of round 22 in the NRL, Andrew Johns.
Staying dry.
Staying dry, and off the back of an epic article this morning.
Award-winning.
One of your best.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
No.
No.
The best one a couple of weeks ago was when the Knights. I went through the Knights. Anyway.
Well, tell everyone at home if they haven't read it, which they should have. What you created.
I designed my perfect halfback over the last 35 years and goes through the best traits of Alan Langer, Ricky Stewart, Nathan Cleary, Jonathan Thurston, Cooper Cronk, Nathan, I said Nathan, didn't I? Mitchell
Tommy?
Moses. Tommy and Jonathan Thurston are together. The
Why is that?
competitiveness of Jonathan Thurston and Tommy Raudonikis, where JT would do anything to win. He would chase, he would go to the point of exhaustion, where Tommy would bite, scratch. Who did bite someone's nose? Might have been Sterlo's nose. He bit, scratch, eye gouge, squirrel grip, anything to win.
So good. Do you know what I get in trouble
Izzy
for?
Katoa, he had the big
he's a
mention.
weapon.
Yeah.
At home all the time is saying out loud to my kids, if you're not first, you're last. Alani, you can't say that, Mum. Well,
Yes,
you can.
you can.
You can. You definitely can.
Yes,
it's
you
true.
can. Well, they used to get it in the 80s.
Exactly. Raising three absolute terrors, that's for sure. All right, let's rip into the footy. So great news for the Melbourne Storm this week. Jahrome Hughes has signed until 2030. Isn't that massive?
Yeah, big signing. I always thought he'd stay. But with the Perth Bears coming in PNG, there's going to be an inflated market and there's not many halfbacks around, so the Melbourne Storm have made the decision. I understand Munster is off at the end of 2027, so they got him. Harry's there for a couple more years, Pappenhausen, so they keep that spine. Great signing.
I can't believe it's 2030. Like, I remember the 2000 Olympics.
Yeah.
That's the part that actually tripped me out the most on that news topic. So.
Well, I debuted in '94.
Did you? I was 2.
It's 31 years ago. It goes like that. It's terrifying.
That's wild, isn't it? Well, what does that mean for the Melbourne Storm? But obviously a couple of names floating around. Let's pick them apart. Jonah Pezet, because he has a clause in his contract that was always depending on what Jahrome Hughes was going to do and obviously aligning to that halfback position. What do you think that means for Jonah?
Well, I heard Braith talking about it, saying that maybe they could do a loan, like Harry Grant did, went to the West Tigers. He'd look at Newcastle colours. I know the Knights offered him astronomical dollars for an untried halfback. I think it was up around 700, even more. The Knights are desperate for a halfback, so I'm sure they'll be interested in talking to Jonah. But there's not many halfbacks around, so he could pick his club, really. The Knights looking for a halfback. Off the top of my head, St George Illawarra have said they're looking for a marquee half. Off the top of my head, there I go. They're probably the two obvious ones. The Knights and the St George Illawarra.
So if you were Jonah...
Look, he's done his apprenticeship. He's been in lower grades. And he's had a couple of knee injuries that's kept him out. But he's 23 now, so he's ready to go. He can't wait in reserve grade for another 2-3 years. So I dare say I think he'll be leaving, which you can understand. Yeah. And I think the Storm will understand that.
Oh, without a doubt. Plus they've got...
I was surprised he signed there.
Yeah. But that also says a lot about the club itself, doesn't it? Because he knows that he wants to do his apprenticeship there, but he's at that point now where he should be playing NRL weekend.
Grade,
yeah.
It's too good for reserve grade.
Okay.
Sometimes as a halfback too, it's harder to play reserve grade than it is first grade because you haven't got the quality players around. Anyway, I wish him well and it'll look good in red and blue.
Just subtly putting that out there in the universe. What about Tyrone Wishart? So Craig Bellamy this week. They've got the Eels tonight. Thursday night footy. He's named Tyrone Wishart. A lot of that conversation is probably off the back of his defence and how crucial that is, particularly at this point of the season. But do you think we see it stay like that? Because Jahrome Hughes, hopefully they're expecting him back at the start of the finals. But, I mean, that's all fingers crossed and hope, right? So they want to be playing their best footy. So do you think we see this staying, or is it a bit of a trial for this Melbourne Storm?
I think it's a trial. once again, he's done his apprenticeship. I think Jonah sort of deserves his spot. But we interviewed Harry Grant after his 10 out of 10 performance against the Roosters, and he said Craig will fit. He'll pick the person who is defensively stronger. So you'd imagine that's Tyrone. Interesting to see how it plays out. I think the conditions will probably lean more towards a defensive game tonight. So I dare say that Tyrone Wishart will start.
But then also the kicking game's crucial tonight, and he's coming up against Mitch Moses.
He's got the best.
Right? So he's got the benchmark in the competition for kicking game. Jonah Pezet's kicking game, that's one of his huge qualities as well. But also we saw Money in Game 3 of
Munster
Origin.
Just kicked him to death.
So is that how they save it? Maybe Cameron Munster takes a little bit more charge tonight until Jonah Pezet comes on?
Well, you know what Munster's like. More responsibility the better he goes. Otherwise he gets bored and those monkeys in his head start fleeing at each other. It's interesting to see, We're going to see a glimpse tonight of how they play without Jahrome. I'm really interested to see how they're going to play. I was very, very tempted to tip the Eels. Huge win last week against the Broncos. Unchanged lineup and at home. There'll be nothing in this one. I think the Storm, I'm going to go with the Storm just. But Moses v Munster, I can't wait.
And also, as you said before, Harry Grant took his game to another level without
one of the great
Hughes.
games to watch. I'm glad I was there live to watch him.
So cool, hey?
Gun.
All right, let's speak about the kicking games a little bit more broadly because the weather this weekend is awful. It's going to be horrendous. But if you were going into weather like this as a kicker, what would your mindset be coming into these games?
Well, there's a couple of things. You sort of think, what's my next kick? In the first 10, 15 minutes, as a halfback in these conditions, you don't get tackled. And a trigger for me to think was always my own 40-metre mark. So if I got my own 40-metre mark in the first 15 minutes, even 20 minutes, after play 3, I'd just kick. I'd kick long all the time, play the ball down their area and try to go for an error. Look, in these conditions, especially attacking, where nowadays they have one marker, put the fullback defensively in the line, it's nearly impossible to break down defence. So the attacking kick's very important, opening up the field and kicking behind their back rower, bring the outside defence up. We saw Angus score 2 tries like that in Origin down over in Perth.
Yeah.
So the kicking game's so important. But break it down in the first 10, 15 minutes, your long kicking, and then concentrate on your short kicking.
All right, so your long kicking, obviously, before you head out there, it's pelting down, the weather's horrendous. Are you bringing in your outside backs and even your team to get me to this place and I'm going early, or are you're expecting them?
I'm kicking early, and if they're not chasing like mongrel dogs, I am screaming at them.
Is there anyone in the game at the moment that you see
I saw Moses
angry?
last week.
Great.
I was watching Broncos v Parramatta, and there was a stage of the game when the game was ding-dongy, and I saw Moses just driving his forwards. I went, well, there's a difference. You need someone there cracking the whip, because the forwards need to be yelled at. You do their thinking. You do their thinking, and they can do your fighting. Tugger Coleman used to say.
Fair.
Tugger Coleman at South used to say that to the great Les Davidson. He said, Bundy to Les, he used to call him Leslie. Leslie, I'll do your thinking and you can do my fighting, when he first got to South. After about a month, he said, Tugger, I seem to be doing a lot of fighting here.
We've got to keep each other honest, that's fair.
Yeah.
What about with the kickers at the moment? Is there anything that frustrates you or you think that they can change? Like, are they kicking it early enough?
Yeah,
often
they are.
enough,
The kicking
or?
games have gone to another level. Look, once again, the award-winning column I did on kickers being protected too much. So in the run of play, if there's a really good defensive set and you keep the opposition to their 40 or even their 30 and you slow down the last play of the ball, the kicker just stands on the advantage line, especially Moses. He kicks it 60 metres and saves the set. Where in years gone by, if they could get smashed, as a kicker, you'd have to go back 15 metres. So instead of getting the ball on your 10, you're getting the ball on your 40. And then the game of chess sort of goes from there. But yeah, I think we've gone too far protecting our halfbacks. But the kicking game, you can stand on the advantage line on a slow play of the ball. Can't get it. You can't touch you.
Especially if you've got a good shift from dummy half too, because the markers can't get there.
They just can't get there. I see someone like who's Liam Martin. He chases that hard and he gets there simultaneous. And there's no reward. He can't smash anyone on the ribs. And look, you got to tackle above the waist. They're the rules. But there's got to be a reward for a defensive set. Once again, the halfbacks on the advantage line. I'd love to see it change a little bit.
Got a bit soft. So you mentioned
they play in koala suits now. They're protected species.
They know it too.
They know it too. Yeah.
You mentioned Mitch Moses having the best kick. Who were some other kickers that you love watching?
Nathan's obviously. Matt Burton, when he puts those torps up. Matt Burton's long kicking game's incredible. The left
he makes it
for
look
some
so
reason.
effortless too.
Latrell, when he gets in there and nails them, he can kick them 60, 70 metres. He's got beautiful power in his legs. But Moses and obviously Nathan, them two at the top, definitely.
Didn't he shine last week, Nathan? Just reminding everyone exactly who he is.
Goal kicking, didn't miss a goal. He had someone in the crowd watching him.
Little lover. That helps.
Yeah.
Whatever your motivation has to be, play on.
Mary was up there and he put a 9 out of 10 performance. He's in total control of the game. He's in total control of his game. Yeah. There's no weaknesses.
All right, great.
I don't know how that groin's going with
Mary back in town. Stop
you
it.
Said
Stop
that.
it.
You said
I've said
that.
this ever since the start. I don't know why they put the two of us together. That's definitely your fault.
Now, my eyes, I've been surfing and it's howling southerly. So don't think I've been misbehaving.
It's Wednesday.
Eyes.
It's a big Monday, Tuesday, Joey.
No,
Is it Wednesday? No, it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Oh yeah, we're very professional.
Working tonight.
Of course. Salt water.
I've got so much salt in my eyes. And they're bloodshot. So I don't think I've been watching Cheech and Chong movies.
All right, great news for the Dragons.
They're not even over.
Stop it, they're actually not.
Yeah.
Let's park that. Great news for the Dragons. Daniel Anderson has been signed with them. So former para coach, but also head of recruitment at the Roosters.
Warriors coach too.
Yeah,
Took him to a
exactly.
grand final.
Yeah, he's going to be the new recruitment officer for the Dragons, which is great news because is it fair to say they might need a little bit of help, some players jumping on board?
Yep. Now, if you have a look at the Roosters, the players they've unearthed the last sort of 18 months, Mark Nwanga Nisawase. Close. I see him all the
effort
time.
was there.
He laughs. Robert Toya, young Steep, Feketi, Siwa Wong, Nafu White. I'm missing a few, but we've got half a dozen, 8, 9 young guys who have debuted in the last 18 months and absolutely killed it. So it's on the back of the recruitment and identifying the right talent, knowing the DNA of the team, how they want to play, and then coaching, getting these young guys in who can implement the style of play. So I think it's a great appointment. Really good guy, Daniel, knows his stuff. As you can see, the example, and took the Warriors to a grand final, took Parramatta to a grand final on the back of Hayne when Jared carried him. So great appointment, yeah.
But it's also important because they've got such a good catchment of players as well, just to be able to retain those players from down south in particular and bring them into the Dragons. So and that's what we saw at the Roosters, isn't it? Some of these young players that are brilliant.
They've got some really good young forwards, the Couchman twins, the young guy of Egan who's out with the knee, the young fella of Stewart. I think Egan and Stewart are both from Gerringong. They've got some really good young forwards coming through who look tough and hungry. But the big one is that they've got to find a half. And they've said they need a marquee halfback. There's none out there. And unfortunately, for teams like St George Illawarra and the Newcastle Knights, to get a marquee player, you have to pay overs. So just say they went after, let's just say off the top of my head,
Jonah Pezet.
Yep. Jonah on the market's probably, at this stage, you're paying for potential 500, 600. If he's going to go to Newcastle or St George Illawarra, you're paying 800, 900, which then slants your salary cap a little bit. I'm just...
Are there any other positions you think that they need some help with at the moment? Halfback's the big one.
Well, Gutho, he'll be there for another couple of years. Their back rowers, trying to think, well, those young guys I mentioned. But it's in the halves, and they know it.
But are they the players you want to build your team around, those younger players?
Yeah, well, they've got to build from within.
And then find
Same
some
as
direction.
Newcastle. Newcastle's got this huge catchment area. It's hard to get these marquee players, and I reckon players now aren't scared of living in Sydney. Back when I was playing, people didn't want to live in Sydney. They want to live in Newey or Wollongong or places like that. I think that's shifted a little bit, but they've got to build from within. Once again, I go back to the Knights in early days. We built from within, and we were deficient in one position, and we went and bought Ben Kennedy.
Yeah.
That is the model. Have a look at Penrith. They've built from within, and they've got these young players coming through. They've coached the hell out of these local juniors, and that's what they need to do. I'm so surprised there wasn't a change in the halves this week for the Dragons. Young King Tongia, is that pronounced
King
right?
Tongia, yep.
Defensively, he looks like he's hit the wall a little bit. That combination between Luciano and King Tongia was dreadful on the weekend. Tom did put a clinic on.
Which is awful for the players, but the people, right? Because if you have that depth in your squad, you can give them a little bit of a rest, get some more confidence up. But that's obviously what the Dragons don't have, because they would have loved to have made a change if they had someone there to put a bit of pressure,
well,
but also take
reserve
some
grade is
off.
12 from 13.
Yeah.
And Lachlan Ilias and Jonah Glover. I like Ilias as a player, but if you're going to make a change with King Tongia, Jonah Glover's a running 5'8". I've seen him once or twice, and I've been really impressed. I think he's off to the Bunnies next year. I was surprised there wasn't a change there. Anyway, we'll see how they go.
So does Daniel Anderson not only come in to help make changes, but also maybe be a sounding board and give the coach a little bit of confidence to do that? You know what I mean? Like, what's the balance there?
Well, the job of assistant coaches, I think, is to constantly challenge the head coach.
Yeah.
You've got to be challenging. Challenge decisions, challenging, recruitment, challenging the way you play, this sort of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. We're only...
It's hard to speculate from the outside.
Anyway, I was just surprised that the young 5'8" didn't get a rest. He looks like he's cooked. Needs a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
Rest. I wouldn't even play him a reserve grade. Give him a couple of weeks off to freshen him up.
The other thing with Daniel Anderson when he comes into this role is we've got 2 new expansion teams coming in. So does that not just draw even more importance on retaining and also making sure you do have those locals, because there's 2 new clubs that are going to be poaching everyone's best players as well?
It's going to be crazy. The market's going to go crazy. And
November 1 too.
For these fringe players, I was talking to some the other night who started up the Knights, and they said when we started, we knew we couldn't buy flashy players or really good backs, so we recruited 2 forward packs. We had 2 forward packs. So look, if I was a PNG or Perth, the guys I'd be buying would be Alec McDonald, Kobe Hetherington, these sort of real tough players who can play 80 minutes, who train hard. Probably paying them, I don't know, say 400,000. But you got a dozen of those in your team. No Newcastle players, please. But you know what I mean. Those real tough players in their mid-20s who train hard, just turn up every week. There's no difference between their good and their bad.
Consistent hard workers.
Yep.
Well, it's rugby league. That's what we love. All right, this weekend, to wrap things up, it's pretty exciting actually. The NRLW's first ever Magic Round in your old turf in Newcastle.
Australia's #1 city.
It is a great place to have the first ever Magic Round. They've nailed it, haven't they?
Well, it's the best place. Great nightlife. Plenty to do. If you don't have nightlife, you can go up to Shoal Bay, up Port Stephens, 45 minutes away. You can go up where I'm from, up the Hunter Valley. It's about 45, 50 minutes away. You go to the wineries. Go and see Gary and Gale and Cessnock. If you're 2 years old, but Gary...
Do you reckon they'd answer the door if random's just knocked?
Oh, 100% they would. 100%.
What's in the fridge? What's on offer? A slice, or is it all liquid?
2 years old. Maybe some old rissoles and corned beef.
Oh, it's so
Bit
good.
of Devon.
That's so good. Devon and tomato sauce. Is that what you had in your sandwiches?
When we go up, there's always a knob of Devon in the fridge.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's unreal. I say that all the time. My kids' lunchboxes are like...
Yeah,
I wouldn't get that much fruit variety in a 12-month period.
Yeah, totally different.
So different. My own fault too. But Newcastle, even though the weather's not meant to be great, the crowd will still turn up, do you reckon?
I thought someone said Saturday's a sellout.
Sold out.
Is that right?
Sold out.
So it'll be challenged with the weather, obviously. They're talking about 35 mils on Saturday. But people in Newcastle will get out, and Newcastle, the NRLW team's flying, absolutely flying. They're undefeated.
They have lost...
Lost one.
Yeah, I think they've lost one.
But,
to the
well, with the wet
Bulldogs too.
weather, the best kicking game in the competition in the NRLW is Jess Southwell, so they're going to be hard to beat, Newcastle. But it'll be a festival. The environment's going to be great. Everyone's going to enjoy himself, and let me tell you, there's no bad places to go in Newcastle.
Do you think this is the first of many
Yeah,
Magic rounds?
I think that's the spot.
Yeah.
That's the spot for sure. Lock it in.
Yeah.
Because everything's close. You know, everything's there. It's an easy place.
Easy.
Rugby league mad, and you know, hopefully they sell it out on both days.
It's also easy for... I've got heaps of friends just driving up. Do you call it the freeway or the highway? But plenty of mates that have gone up.
It used to be called the
from
F3.
Sydney.
It's called the M1 now.
Right.
Yeah. Take that. North connects
Easy to
out
trip.
of Sydney.
Oh,
It takes 20
so
minutes
good.
off.
Yeah.
So good. So when you leave Sydney on Pennant Hills Road to get on that North Connects, the next traffic lights you hit is,
To turn.
is at Walls End.
Yeah.
When you come off the freeway.
Yeah.
There's a couple of roundabouts you got to
Slow
handle.
down for.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Just go over them.
How good.
Just pull out the Immortal card and just drive over the roundabouts.
There's only one of us with that,
Yeah.
so that's half your luck.
Yeah.
All right, Uncle Joey, before I let you go, any
Yes.
tips for Magic Round? Top 3 places to go. Don't tell them where you're going, please. We don't wish that upon anyone.
Okay.
There might be some more red eyes.
Yeah. Get out down at Honeysuckle there. It's been
That's a cracking
Yeah,
spot.
it's a great spot there. Get to Merriweather Surf House. If anyone hasn't been there, it's very similar to the icebergs.
Is this in
at
the
Bondi.
night too, you reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never
You
been there
sit
at
there,
night.
honestly, you sit there and you're looking at the beach in Merriweather.
Awesome.
And across the road there's a pub called the Beaches Hotel, which has recently been sold and done up. They've
looks
spent
awesome.
an absolute truckload on it. But if you want to go to pubs where your feet stick to the floor and you walk into the toilet and it just stinks of,
You know what?
follow me. They're the pubs I like. I like pubs where my feet stick to the floor, where there's a round bar where you can see everyone around the bar and the conversation is just talking shit all day, all night. But anyway, as I said, there's not a bad spot to go. But if you want to have a look around, go to Honeysuckle, go up to the surf house at Merriweather Beach, and then cross the road to the beaches, the dry ridges.
And then we'll see you at the real place where you can get down and dirty later.
Yeah, down and
In
dirty.
your pluggers.
Trying to think this weekend. I think there could be some real upsets. Now, I haven't got my phone.
I've got it.
I think with the start, there's a couple of teams with the start this weekend. I reckon tonight, the Eels will go really close. I think the Dolphins will go close against the Warriors. The Warriors' last form line, they won just on the bell against Newcastle, and then they got rolled by the Titans over there. So I think the Dolphins with the start are really good bet. Yeah, that's about it.
Manly Chooks.
Nah,
Which way did you
stay
go
out.
there?
I went Manly, only because it's
Did
at
you?
home. But yeah, those two upsets. I reckon the Eels are a really good chance against the Storm, and I reckon the Dolphins coming off the bye against the Warriors. But whatever you're going to do it responsibly.
Do it responsibly.
Whatever that means.
Please.
So my man, yeah, Friday night, Izzy Qatar. I get to watch him. Be watching very closely up in Brisbane, Vegas.
Oh, they love you there. Enjoy.
I love them. Just be kind.
Be kind to
Yeah.
Joey.
So-
All right. Enjoy the weekend of footy, guys. We'll catch you next week.